Hey everybody, welcome back to my vlog. Today I wanted to talk about why I think being employed is the riskiest bet and being an entrepreneur and open your own practice is actually potentially the safer route long term, at least it was for me. And I'm gonna reflect on my old job and how it just totally screwed me over. So stay tuned for a job that really screwed me over and how it's been going since then. Hey, for everyone who's new, my name's Brad. I own a multi-million-dollar private practice here in Texas. I'm dressed like this today because I've been sweating my butt off getting ready for our 5th location opening. So let's get right into it. I used to be a hospitalist. I'm an internal medicine doc. I graduated in 2016, 2017, came to the city in Texas that I'm currently in as a hospitalist. Actually, no, that's not right. In November-ish of 2016, I took a few months off. I came to this city and became a hospitalist. And for like 2.5, almost 3 years, I was a hospitalist and it was good-ish until it just went to crap. Why I think employed was so bad? Well, one, it's not all bad. It was good in the sense that I didn't have any of the startup costs. I literally walked in day one, boom, here's a ton of patients. Cool, I could make money from day one. The problem is that as time went on, private equity got involved with the group that I was with. And of course, Medicare cuts and all these other things that I just noticed that I had to see more patients to make the exact same income. Otherwise, it just didn't make any sense. I was actually taking a pay cut. And then if you look at MGMA, which is a group of organizations that queries, how much patients or how many providers are in a group and what they're getting paid and what the reimbursements are. I was at the 99 percentile. I billed for almost 12,000 wRVUs, work RVUs, for the year of 2017, and I was in like the 62 percentile of income. Think about that. My employer either had horrible billing practices or they made an insane amount of money off of me. And I kept thinking about, okay, I had to sit down. There was this one time where I had to have a freaking meeting with the chief medical officer because I was taught extreme ownership. For those of you guys who love that book, I loved it. It was extreme ownership. In residency, it was like, this is your baby. This is your patient, all right? If you're the hospitalist or you're the cardiologist, whatever you are, Pulm Crit, you're in charge of making sure that that patient gets the absolute amazing care and everything that they need from start to finish. There's no BS in the middle of like, oh, well, why didn't this happen, blah, blah, blah. You figure it out. Problem solve, figure it out to make sure that the patient gets exactly what they need. So with that mindset of extreme ownership, I actually like palliative care. And at the organization that I was with, I loved having the palliative care discussions. Mr. Tim or whoever's in the ICU, this is his 12th time in the ICU, he's paked, he's dement, he has been in and out like 12 times the ICU, he had a stroke, can't tell up from down, horrible situation, but big picture, what are we doing here? In a very kind way. And I would go up to the family and I would say, let me get to know him. What was his life like? And I would lead that into the conversation of what did he or she want for their life? And 9 times out of 10, they didn't want to live like this. All right, cool, go home, think about it. These are the options. We can do hospice, withdrawal of care, dignity. Let's give them their dignity, whatever they want. If they come and tell me they want to fight like hell, let's fight like hell. But I want to know what their wishes are. And I had this one nursing student who was going to get her NP, and I'm not hating on NPs, but she was the palliative care team for this organization, and she would get pissed off that I never consulted her. One day, she filed a complaint that I never got the palliative care team involved and listed like 30 patients. And then I had to go and have a freaking meeting with the chief medical officer why I didn't get him involved. And then I had to go through the charts and be like, what does it matter? The patient and family left treated for. Either they went home with whatever treatments they needed or they ended up on hospice. Everything ended up fine. Was there an actual negative patient outcome from this? No. Okay, so what the hell was it? Boom, here it comes. Brad, you could have been seeing other patients and we could have let that nurse see those palliative care patients and you could have been admitting and discharging more patients from the hospital instead of having these discussions. There it is. My time was more valuable to them in making money in getting patients in and out the freaking door. I was in trouble because, in my opinion, I was having that long-term discussion, but it took time away from admitting and discharging other patients, and that's how the hospital makes money. Now, I'm not saying the hospital is evil, but it is what it is. And that is one scenario where I just sat there and thought, what the hell am I doing here? I can't practice medicine the way I want to. They're acting like they're freaking broke. They just did like a $900 million expansion. And the whole time they're like, oh, we can't afford the doctor's dinner anymore once a month because y'all are too expensive and we're cutting costs to save money because we're borderline broke. What's this $900 million expansion all about? Read between the lines. Your employer, most likely, I mean, there may be the lovely ones out there, but most likely your employer is treating you like an object. You get out there, you see patients, your job is to make money, admit, discharge. That's basically what the chief medical officer told me. Brad, your job is to get patients in, get them out. This is a waste of your time because you're not admitting and you're not discharging patients. Boom. That's what it was. So then there were other kind of scenarios along the way. So then I really started thinking, I was like, why can't I practice medicine the way I want to? Get rid of the middleman or woman and get rid of that middle person so that I can practice medicine the way I want and I don't have to turn this massive profit for other investors. And can it still be successful? Yeah, the short of it is, hell yeah, it can. I'm making a great living doing what I want to do. So I think it would have been riskier if I stayed for this old group because my buddies, if you're watching this, love you guys, but a lot of them still stayed with that same group. And every single day they're in their text message threads complaining about how they're making less money. One of my friends last year, as a hospitalist in the city that I'm in, working all of his shifts, didn't even break 200K. Now that's an amazing salary, but you could go almost any other city in the nation and you are guaranteed to make over 200K a year. And think about that. He worked Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these other holidays, all these weekends, 4 years of college, 4 years of med school, 3 years of additional education for internal medicine, potentially getting sued for millions of dollars, working 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 3 nights a week, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. the other nights during that week on to not even make 200K. I mean, again, it's a great income overall, but dude, he could have made 300 with an easier schedule working somewhere else. I think you got to know if you're getting taken advantage from, and is that really in your best bet working for that organization? And for me, where I'm at, I'm so thankful that I started looking at things being like, why am I in the top 99 percentile of billings, 12,000 RVUs, but I'm only in like the 60 percentile for income? Yeah, it's because they're making the money off of me. Yes, it's a grind. Yes, it's a very big risk starting up your own practice. But I'll tell you what, whatever you want, whether it be DPC, concierge, or you want to grow like me and just love the pain of all the expansion, you can make it extremely successful as long as you're willing to work hard. But I haven't really met that many people in medicine that are not willing to work hard because so many of us just worked our butts off through residency. The other thing that really annoyed me is as I looked through it, I had no control over my schedule. If someone called in sick, I was basically being begged, oh, Brad, here's $100 bonus for coming in on your day off. And then if I said no, fine, we dug real deep, we'll give you $200. $200 friggin' dollars? Now that I own a company, I'm like, man, that's 1, maybe 2 admissions max. And some of those days in the hospital, they'd be insanely busy. I would admit 25 patients in a day. In a half day, 12-hour shift. It was nuts. And I got a $200 bonus. The other thing that's a problem is your earning potential is totally limited. All right? I knew that was it. I would look around as a hospitalist and say, this is it. I'm going to work 12-hour days. I'm going to miss half the holidays. The world is going to have to revolve around this schedule. And this is it. It's not going to get any better because Medicare cuts keep coming. There's more administration like coming into this. This is what I'm looking at. And I just didn't want that for my life going forward. The other thing that took a mental toll on me is just the empty promises. Oh yeah, you know what? We're going to hire someone to offload this. It either never happened or it took like 9 months for it to happen. Okay, I get it takes a while to onboard a physician, but like pay more bonuses. Do something. Bring in locums. It was horrible to be overworked and see, sometimes as a hospitalist, I'd see 40 patients in a day. That's not safe. And then the final thing that really drove it home for me is I wasn't building a brand or anything that I had a connection to. At the end of the day, if I drop dead of a heart attack, there's nothing left. I better damn sure make sure I have a life insurance policy because there's no part of this organization that I'm gonna, or my widowed wife is gonna make money on going forward. It's over. It's all over, and I am extremely, extremely replaceable. If I would drop dead, they would replace me tomorrow. My shifts would get covered, someone else would have covered me, and I have nothing left to my legacy, name, anything else. And there was something about that I thought was really sad because I watched my grandfather and all my family build a business of an HVAC, electrical business. Hell yeah, it's got trouble and it's got problems of owning that business, but man, it gives to all of them combined, hundreds of people. It gives support. You treat them like you would want to be treated. And it gives them their mortgages, their lives. They love it. And there's nothing wrong with being an employed person. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to be, but it just wasn't what I wanted. And I would bet that if you found me, you were tired of the BS of the way that I was treated. So I just want to throw this video out there to say it's possible. All right, there's nothing special about me in any way. I mean, yes, I'm here on a Sunday at the time making this video, sweating my butt off outside, probably getting sunburned, going in and out, bringing stuff into the clinic, into the 5th location, getting it ready to open up. I'm not afraid of working hard. I'm not afraid of taking risks. But I was afraid of growing someone else's business, having nothing to show for it, and having these stupid meetings, and to come to the realization, you don't want me having these palliative care discussions because I make you more money by burning myself out, admitting and discharging more patients. That's what makes you money. And that's what I'm good for you. All right, you guys. Thank you guys for following along. Keep grinding it. I'll be around if you need me. All my links are below. Thank you so much for following along. See you in the next one.